What's going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back for a brand new episode of Chaos Ed Noah. Last time on, we started up Senna's route because, of course, we did, by Takumi thinking that the only person that can save him, possibly, is Senna. So he goes out and seeks for her help, telling her all about Shogun and how, he's after him and, he needs to be protected. So Senna decides to put Takumi on a leash and go straight for the Nozomi headquarters and go all the way to the top, which unfortunately turns out to be a trap set up by the two mysterious old men we keep seeing, the founder of the Cosmic Church of the Divine Light and a assemblyman. And so we are trapped inside this office until the third melt hits, aka the giant earthquake that shakes everything about and pretty much puts Takumi and Senna in a very, very close space with each other. After a bit of frisking, let's just say, they are both dug out by Senna's father, Hatano, in which Senna has a huge argument with him about, why he did all the things he did, and that Hatano is still just wishing for death on himself. But over the monitor, we hear both old men get gunned down by some mysterious force. Eventually, Takumi notices that a computer is still on, and he's getting typed to, not by Shogun, but by a mysterious person that keeps calling himself one of the members of the Committee of 300. And so, in a very long kind of monologue or conversation, really, this mysterious person claims that he is one of the Committee of 300, a real member, that the two old men that kept saying they were a part of the Committee of 300 and they were, betraying them or whatever, weren't in fact members at all, that they weren't a part of the real Committee of 300. And that the Committee of 300's real members haven't appeared yet in this world. And they kind of refer to themselves as gods or game masters, really, sent here to fix things by maintaining balance within the world, by fixing bugs and the alike. And so they have put their trust within Takumi. They got rid of the two old men by gunning them down. But they decide to help out Takumi destroy Noah too, and so they send both Takumi and Senna off on a quest to find a cheat code, pretty much, in order to destroy Noah too, whatever that thing may possibly be. And so Senna and Takumi head out, and it was a very interesting conversation because it's like, do you take it at face value? Do you take it that the Committee of 300's real members are actually some otherworldly presence, that they're game masters, that they're gods or whatever, that haven't yet appeared in this world, and they're only here just to maintain the balance of the world, make sure that good never outweighs evil, or evil never outweighs good, or something to that effect? Or is it simply a case of they're just people that are they have just really, really advanced technology that makes them seem like it's magic, that makes it seem like they're gods, but in reality, they're just human as you and I? That's my biggest question so far. I don't think it's going to get answered in this game. I really don't think. I think that's going to be like an overarching mystery for the rest of these science adventure games, is what the hell is the Committee of 300, right? What are they exactly? Because it seems like the whole conspiracy, that seems like that's a cover-up. The whole, all these major world governments and companies are working together. That seems like it's just a front, and that the real Committee of 300 is much more vast than we can imagine. But hey, so far this route has been really good, and it's been really eye-opening, so I can't wait to see how this goes, so let's get right into it. Hatano Issei watched his daughter, Nishijou Takumi, leave until they fell out of sight, and once they did, he took a seat in the middle of the rubble. There wish to talk with God for just a moment longer. Oh. As he became the last remaining person in the room, he said those words into the air. His daughter, Senna, had looked like she had something to tell him, but instead she had simply thrown a sharp glare his way, only to click her tongue, turn her head away, and leave without saying a word. Nothing had escaped Hatsuno's lips either.
300人委員会まだ見ているのか
Ooh. He faced the silent, pitch-black monitor and called out to it. There was no response for a while, leaving Hatsuno to continue staring emptily at the monitor. Eventually, the screen roared back to life, displaying the chat log from before. Oh. Why? It responded with why, meaning yes.
なぜセナと西条匠なんだ
Ah, good question. For Shibuya in its current state, they were...
300人委員会にとってこちらの世界はどのような定義なのかゲームか実験場か牧場か
For Shibuya in its current state, they were the Gigomaniacs we have the highest likelihood of establishing contact with. That is all. There is no ulterior motive beyond that. The worldwide human domestication project is merely the delusion born of a certain selection of conspiracy theorists. As was stated before, we do not directly intervene in your world. The worldwide human domestication project, a term that would find its way into any discussion about the famous Committee of 300 conspiracy. I guess I was right. Those who know of the conspiracy speculate that the Committee of 300 means to establish a one-world government to unify the world, and once they do, they shall guide the world through the creation of a new world order. Aside from a selection of chosen people, all of humanity will be subjected to semi-permanent brainwashing, applied via a silent weapon, turning them into mindless slaves, just like livestock. Their flesh, milk, labor, children, and very lives shall endlessly be stolen away by the elite. Should this be realized, it would perhaps be humanity's cruelest, most systematic utopia of all. Damn. Unknowingly having their will stolen from them and be automated as livestock, the remains of humanity would be constantly exploited, all while continuing to live their lives in blissful ignorance. As they would have no way to know of their exploitation, they would never raise any objections nor rebel against their circumstances.
世界人間牧場計画が妄想だとしても沈黙の兵器は妄想ではない。現にノア2が存在している。
That is true. So like, plus those two old guys are like very adamant that they were a part of the Committee of 300. So like, is there an actual like Committee of 300 in the world, and there's this other one that exists above it, like in existence above this world? Like what is it exactly? That is related to our current error, the error born from you.
世界は再びお前たちの秩序のもとに置かれるのか。無自覚の奴隷としてお前たちに搾取され続けるのか。
That is related to our current error, the error born from you, Nishijou Takumi and Norose Genichi. We are putting our best efforts into fixing this error. So I'm kind of right. There was an interesting detail in Senna's like intermission before we got into this part proper, in which Hatsuno was talking to her about finding the IR2 formula, which was a pure coincidence. The reason he found it wasn't because Nozomi was looking into Takumi as a kid. No. He managed to find it by pure chance at the Tokyo station when it was displayed on a newspaper stand or whatever the hell, right? Because of that chance, Norose was able to finish his IR2 formula, aka finish Noah, kill his wife and his child as well. therefore causing this kind of snowball effect, right? Because he did that, they started looking into Takumi, aka Shogun. And because Shogun got more and more sick, he eventually creates a delusion so real that it turns into Nishijou Takumi. And because Takumi is a delusion that is able to use the powers of a Gigomaniac, aka the powers of this sort as well, he is the most powerful. Like, he is a delusion that is able to alter reality to itself, you know, from his vision. And obviously Genichi is the one trying to create Noah 2, and obviously so it's very interesting that, like, the Committee of 300 is trying to fix the world, you know, fix this error, this formula that was never supposed to be seen by Hatsuno here. The Noah 2 was never supposed to be created. None of this was supposed to happen. This is all wrong. This is an error. Like, this series of events should have never happened in the first place, type of thing. And that's very interesting. That is very interesting, because it kind of lines up with Steins Gate as well, of, like, the whole thing of, like, CERN trying to get the time machine from Okabe, right? So like, it really does make me think, like, this whole series is going to be about something happens, something is created, and the Committee of 300 is trying to, or the real Committee of 300 is trying to get rid of it, trying to cover it up, trying to destroy this error before it infects the world, pretty much. Because Noah 2 would take over the world completely and utterly. And so I find that that is such a fascinating way to look at this series, really. I mean, I only have, like, 2 games on the road belt. Well, 3 games, since, you know, Steins Gate 0 and shit like that. But Steins Gate 0 is more of a... Well, I mean, Steins Gate 0 does deal with AI, but, like, I can't remember much from Steins Gate 0. But anyway, I find it very fascinating. As Hatsuno spoke, a horrifying possibility stemming from his own words came to him, and his brow furrowed.
世界人間牧場計画はすでに完了している。
Ooh. You produce an interesting concept, but that is not quite the right way to put it. To correctly express it from the viewpoint of God, you are all already livestock from the moment of this world's inception. Nevertheless, this is nothing but a hypothetical.
300人委員会にとってこちらの世界はゲームなのか実験場なのか牧場なのか。
In response to Hatsuno, fell silent. The time has come.
時間とは何のことだ。
The Committee of 300 must remain an entity of shadow, one that is spoken of only in conspiracy theories.
君たちだと。まさか瀬名や西条匠も。
Oh shit. One that is spoken of only in conspiracy theories. Anyone who knows too much must be disposed of, much like Inohara and Komochi before you. None of you were exceptions to this rule. You three became pawns the moment we established contact. Oh, fuck. The monitor abruptly went black. It was no different from a death sentence. Actually, can I, backlog? Here we go. Became pawns the moment we established contact. Pawns fulfill the roles they are given, and nothing more. That is our rule. The monitor abruptly went black. It was no different from a death sentence. Gotcha. Well, shit.
瀬名。
Clamping his teeth down on his whip, Hatano frantically stood up. If he left now, perhaps he would still be able to catch the two of them before they reached Shibuya Station. He had to tell them that it was a trap. He did not want to let his daughter die. After killing his wife and second daughter, she was the only family he had left. No matter how much hatred she held for him, all he wanted was for her to live. For this reason, Hatano ran. And yet, in the end, he was not able to escape the Nozomi Technology Building. Oh, shit. For before he could, the sound of an explosion combined with a furious vibration whipped through the building. It was not collapsing due to the earthquake, however. The sound alone told him it was by the hand of man. But knowing this did not change his fate. The ground beneath his feet collapsed, and as if the lid had been lifted off the cauldron of hell itself, the earth opened wide and swallowed up the insignificant existence that was Hatano Issei. Fuck. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. This is not gonna end good, is it? And once more, going through the streets of Shibuya with people screaming. Going on a walk through Shibuya finally helped things sink in. I finally came to terms with just how horrifying the earthquake that hit the city truly was. Not a single trace of the once dazzling city remained. The city was dead. Shibuya was now a city of death. Countless unmoving bodies littered the streets, some lying alone, others piled on top of one another. Various sections of the main road were deeply stained with pools of blood. Nothing was alive, everyone was dead, everyone. Hatano-san had said something earlier about the casualties being in the thousands, and the sole cause of all this suffering was Noah too. This wasn't a natural disaster. It wasn't even any kind of disaster at all. This was an atrocity, a massacre. Senna, who was just a few steps ahead of me, had an intense look of sorrow on her face. Hatano-san hadn't come with us. We had left him behind in the Nozomi Technology Building. They were father and daughter, apparently, but they didn't really act like it. Felt like Senna had some sort of one-sided intense hatred toward her father. They had mentioned Senna's mother and younger sister during their conversation. What had happened between the two of them? Whatever it was, it must have been what had led to Senna's heart and mind being broken. Despite me wondering that, I didn't plan on asking for some detailed account of what happened or anything. Not that I knew how to in the first place. Besides, our number one priority at the moment was obtaining the cheat code. Once we had that, I wouldn't need Senna to protect me anymore. I'd be able to live on my own. I don't know about that, man. Suddenly, a rumbling sound came from behind me. Thinking it was another earthquake, I immediately got down on my hands and knees, but the ground wasn't what was shaking. I slowly and cautiously looked behind me, toward where the Nozomi main office we were just in should have been standing. Smoke was pouring into the sky. It looked like the end result of an erupting volcano. The building that should have been there wasn't there. Oh god, had it collapsed? But Hatano-san was still in there. Shit. Aw. The small whimper escaped Senna's lips. She looked up at the smoke filling the sky in a daze. After a moment, she noticed my gaze and quickly turned the other way. However, her shoulders continued to tremble. Yes, of course you would, Senna.
だったらあの人も生き返らせればいい。
Yeah, definitely. Once we got our hands on the cheat code, we could do that. There's no reason we couldn't, as long as we believed what had said.
殺すために生き返らせるのか。非効率的だな。
Senna laughed to herself, but her voice was muffled by her tears. I didn't really know what to say to her, so I just hung my head. Senna fought her back her tears for a while, but eventually, as if she made up her mind about something, she started moving forward once again. Now not a single tear remained on her face. I hurriedly followed after her. I wonder what the hell this cheat code's gonna look like. This question. Underground Shibuya Station was home to both the Hanazomo Mon line and the newly constructed Fukutoshin line, which had a far more complicated structure to it. There was also a Ginza line platform located 2 floors above ground, but it was still treated as a subway service. That's pretty much anyone, and they tell you the place was pretty much a dungeon. And not only that, but the earthquake had caused all the stairways leading underground to collapse, and now they were all buried in rubble. And this is the time where we go in like first-person view and fucking navigate the subway station SMT style. Need to get back to that game. Senna had been able to use her disc sword to blast away the rubble and clear a path for us, so it hadn't posed much of a problem, but due to the lack of proper writing, finding the right coin walker had been taking a lot more time than expected. And if that weren't enough, the air filtration system had stopped, leaving the air disgusting and filled with dust. My coughing refused to stop, to the point where I felt like I was going to die, and the stench of death wafting off of the scattered corpses didn't help either. Good old coin walkers.
これか。
Senna finally located the coin walker, which was somehow standing tall with no signs of any noticeable damage. Oh, that's kind of weird. To our astonishment and subsequent belief, the walker still had power running to it, something that was made clear by the bright glow of the IC card reader. Please make a selection, were displayed on the screen. Retrieve and deposit were the only 2 buttons available.
本当にこんな何の変哲もないロッカーにチートコードが置いてあるのか。
It's like a giant rocket launcher or something. The walker had been there since before the earthquake. A whole bunch of customers would have passed through here before us. On a normal day, no one would have paid it any mind. Just how many people actually used walkers like these in the first place? I couldn't imagine there'd be that many. Upon closer inspection, it occurred to me that almost all the other walkers were buried in rubble. And behind that single closed door was something beyond imagination. Urban legends like that have been floating around for decades. It wasn't especially strange or anything like that. It was fairly grounded in reality, actually. A small container that you could find very easily throughout your ordinary life, housing something extraordinary. That was the idea behind it, yeah. When I pushed the retrieve button, a message popped up saying, "Please scan your card."
箱の中に残っているのは希望か、あるいは絶望か。
Fucking hope and despair. Senna dug out her IC card from her pocket and slowly approached the screen. With an electronic beep, the sound of a lock releasing came from the locker. The sound echoed The sound echoed no I can't say that throughout the dead silent underground. And Senna and I stood anchored to the spot, and then we both checked our surroundings. We'd at last come face to face with the cheat code. What form it'd take, neither of us knew. Please don't want it to be something gross or anything gory. Personally, if I had a choice, I want it to be a Seritan figure. Yeah, that'd be the best possible outcome. Senna wiped off the sweat beading on her brow.
1009番だったな。
Shortener's box. You can't see what's inside of it unless you open it. The walker we were looking at was the second from the left and third from the top. The door is fairly big, and it had 1009 written on it. The walker was ever so slightly ajar. All we could see inside that slight gap was uncertain, unending darkness. Sen and I stared at the walker, frozen in place. You open it. Even though she didn't say it out loud, I could feel Senna telling me that. Granted, I was doing the same thing, so we were both equally cowardly. Come on, you do it, told her inside my head. I thought about letting a game of rock, paper, scissors make the decision for us, but it wasn't the time to mess around like that. Should open it, was what I was going to say, but I was interrupted.
Akiro, Nishijou.
Damn. Senna took a step back and readied her sword.
もしもの場合は、私が援護する。
Of course. What the hell do you mean, just in case?
急げ!
Still felt like she was going to stick me with the tip of her sword in a second now. My throat went dry from the anxiety, but my recently unearthed hope resurfaced once again. If I surpass this trial, I can become a hero. With this adage etched upon my heart, I summoned all my remaining courage. I placed my hand on the half-opened walker door.
開けるよ。
Fucking yeah, do it, bitch.
あ。
Let's see what the hell it is. I slowly opened the door. It opened easier than I expected. And inside I found... The fuck?
なんだこれは。
The hell? What the hell is that? Suddenly I peeked into the locker at a loss for words. The white bundle of cloth was bigger than I expected. But right when I reached out to touch it... What the fuck? I pulled my hand back in a panic at the sudden voice. It's... No way. It's...
赤ちゃん。
What the fuck? A live baby had been in the locker? I mean, it'd been decades since then, but abandoned children being found in coin lockers had been a fairly large social issue at one point, but for it to be happening now? Well, we learned a lot about that in Yakuza 7, so... Ichiban and fucking... Wait, that didn't matter right now. Where was the cheat code? I double-checked the locker number. It was unmistakably 1009, so that must have meant... What the hell? Senna gently picked it up as it continued to rail, handling it like a fragile object that would fall to pieces if she let go of it. The baby's cries grew louder and louder. Senna grimaced as her body stiffened and locked in place. She looked at me with pleading eyes.
西条、助けろ。
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
どうしたらいいんだ?
That's what I'm saying! Why ask me? I think you should let it suck on your tits, yeah.
死ね。
How the fuck did you hear that? A glare pierced through me. Had she overheard my delusions now?
多分この赤ちゃんがチートコードだよ。
What the hell are we supposed to do with a baby? I mean, if we thought about what they said. Upon changing the cheat code, fucking whatever. If the baby was the cheat code, it wouldn't activate unless we destroyed it. Oh. Destroy it. In other words, kill it. I went silent and sent a glare of daggers at me. She shielded the baby with her arms.
できない。できるわけないだろう。あの地震をこんな暗くて狭い場所でたった一人で生き延びたんだぞ。
Why the fuck? Why is it a bit? What the fuck? Also, another thing. We didn't hear a baby crying until we opened it.
それはチートコードだよ。地震が起きた後にここに現れたんだ。 それは人間じゃない。そう見えてるだけで。
I don't know about that, man.
あの自称300人委員会の言葉を信じればな。もし違ったら、あるいはもともとここに置き去りにされていたこの子に後からチートコードだけを埋め込んだかもしれないんだぞ。
A coward had sent us horrifically menacing look. Even so, I frantically shot back my rebuttal without looking her in the eye.
だってしょうがないじゃないか。それを壊さないとチートが。
If I lost the Senate here, I'd end up losing the cheat code, and I'd stay an otaku freak for the rest of my miserable life.
この子に触ってみろ、西条。この子のぬくもりを感じてみろ。こんな小さい子、お前は殺せるのか？
Of course I can't. I'm completely harmless. That's why you need to do it, Senna. But I couldn't actually say any of that.
セナは矛盾してる。ここに来るまではやる気満々だったじゃないか。世界は電気仕掛けなんでしょ。だったらその子も単なる人形だ。
でも泣いてる。
Exactly. Senna gently embraced the baby. She had such a tender and loving expression on her face. I couldn't believe she was the same ill-tempered girl from before.
この子は今泣いてるんだ、西条。
She was a total mess. Had Senna been just a complete fucking schizo all along?
チートを発動させてノア2を壊さなきゃ君の家族だって生き返らないぞ。なんでためらうんだよ。
この子は生きているからだ。殺せない私には。
だったら自分が殺してあげるっすよ。
Who the fuck?
Huh?
I swear to God, if that's Sua, motherfucker. A thunderous war. Unsure of what had just happened, I reflexively crouched down. Motherfucker. Saying like that, I took a look around me and spotted a single silhouette standing outside the Fukushin wine ticket gate. They were gripping something that looked like a gun, and they were pointing it in our direction. This really is the fucking Shibuya Grim Reaper, huh? I'm just saying. Anytime fucked up shit happens, it's always when Suwa comes around. Fucking asshole. Look at this fucking Grim Reaper. Did he seriously shoot the fuck? Yeah, of course he fucking shot the baby. It's fucking Suwa. Senna croaked, and when I looked over at her, I saw her hands covered in blood. But it wasn't hers. It was coming from the baby she was cradling. The white towel the baby was wrapped up in was turning crimson. Oh, you're just a sick motherfucker, aren't you, man?
死んじゃう。私は見殺しに。
Oh, fucking... Man, poor fucking Senna. Senna's entire body trembled violently.
相変わらず自分の射撃の腕素晴らしすぎっすよね。
God, there is fucking... Man, you're hateable. Like, Fuck you, Scylla, man. Fuck you, man. The man continued to walk toward us with the most casual smile on his face. On his back, the man wore a rucksack that clashed heavily with his suit.
こんなところで何の相談してるんすか？っていうかその赤ん坊なんなんす？もしかしてあれっすか？二人の隠し子できちゃった？最近の高校生はなってないっすね。
Yeah, fuck you, man.
ま、別にどうでもいいっすけど。自分は君たちを始末しに来たんすよ。ノア2の近くで目障りなことされると困るんで。
Was he related to Nozomi? I feel like I'd seen him somewhere before. He was carrying a gun. Normal people didn't carry a gun. He was going to kill us. We had one.
さて、それじゃあまずそっちの危なっかしい通り魔女子高生から始末しましょうかね。
The man raised his gun and pointed directly at Senna, but she didn't react at all, still clutching the baby she had broken down in sobs. What do I do? We've got the cheat code now. What the hell do I do? I should be invincible now. There's no way I can protect Senna. If I'm invincible, then I can be reckless and stupid and be perfectly fine. Well, fuck.
Nishijou?
Did he block the bullet? I had shielded Senna. A fierce pain exploded in my chest, followed by a burning heat that felt like I had caught on fire. My uniform was stained in blood. I'd been shot.
おーっとかっこいいっすね西条匠くん身を挺して女を守るなんて男の鏡っす
Yeah, fuck you, man.
でもそれもいつまで持つかな
Oh, shit. Each time a gunshot whipped through the air, another bullet opened a hole in my body. Damn! My blood splattered everywhere. The pain eroded my nerves. Senna was still frozen in place, looking at me with tears in her eyes as she cradled the baby. Over half the white towel was now covered in a deep shade of red. I could no longer tell if that blood was mine or the baby's. Oh, fuck.
西条違う。このままじゃお前が
シードコードを使って
Don't know, man.
でも私どうしたら
Oh, fuck. This wasn't good. I was gonna lose consciousness. It hurts. 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 I never asked to go through pain like this. With the cheat code, I should be invincible, but if Senna doesn't activate it, I'm gonna die. I could feel him getting closer to me. I could sense a sinister bloodlust overflowing from him. Something cold and solid was pushed into my back. I felt like my wounds were being grilled over hot coals as that cold sensation crawled through them. Oh, fuck.
よく頑張ったっすねでもこれで終わりっすこの至近距離で心臓をズドンとやればさすがのギガロマニアックスでも死亡確定っすから
Oh, shit.
セナ早く
Senna only continued to cry. This was it. After all that grinding to get the cheat code, none of it mattered in the end.
くたばれクソガキ
Oh! The sensation on my back suddenly disappeared. I thought I'd just been shot, but it wasn't a gunshot that I heard. It was the sound of the air itself shaking.
俺の腕が
Fucking fuck you. White feathers shimmered and danced through the air, but we were underground. There shouldn't have been any birds here. Despite my consciousness turning foggy and the pain ripping through my entire body, I slowly managed to turn around. And there I saw.
Remy.
Remy?
タク
Clasped in her hands was a sword so elegant, so beautiful, yet its form was unendingly sinister. I'd never seen anything like it. It was Remy. Remy, who had disappeared on me before I was here. She looked at me with a smile filled with sorrow. A large quantity of blood poured from the man's arm. Everything from the elbow down had been severed. The hand holding the gun rolled around on the ground. Had Remy done that?
おあま俺の手をよくは
Ooh, this is an interesting track.
ナナちゃんにひどいことしたくせに
I have to say, Kind of reminds me of Killer 7, this track.
Rimi.
Mimi avoided my dumbfounded gaze. She simply stood in front of the man shielding us.
早く外へ。事情は大体理解してるから。ノア2を壊して。葵さん、タク。
Oh shit. That sharp voice brought me back to my senses, but when I tried to move my body, even just a little bit, I was tortured by unrelenting pain. I wanted to collapse on the spot. I didn't want to move, I didn't want to think, but most of all, I didn't want to die. My consciousness was fading. I was fully aware of the blood flowing out of the wounds covering my entire body. Despair and the fear of death threatened to overwhelm me, but I fought them back and held on to Senna's shoulders.
行こう。今のうちに。
すまない。日常。
Oh.
私をかばって。そんなに。
Senna's eyes were clouded with tears. It was the first time I had ever seen her crying face. I guess even level-headed women like Senna cried sometimes. I noticed something else as I held her shoulders. Her body was incredibly frail. I was sure that wasn't unique to Senna, probably pale to all IRL girls, really. Her body was slender as well, something guys also didn't share. On a normal day, she exuded an aura of confidence, arrogance, and so much overwhelming vigor. Felt like she could crush me with it, but at the end of the day, she really was still a girl. It'll be alright. Don't cry, Senna. If we just use the cheat code, it'll heal all of these wounds in an instant. It has to. Believing that, I gritted my teeth and walked forward. Behind me, I heard the sound of a strange mechanical sound and a shrieking resonance tangling with one another, but I refused to look back anymore. Okay, well shit. That, I did not expect that at all. Of Remy coming in and attacking and, you know, killing fucking Sua. That was surprising. Also, oh, we finally get an outside view of the fucking, observatory. That's cool. But shit, okay, interesting. We made it above ground. The trail of blood marked the path we walked. I'd lost a lot of blood. The intense heat I'd been feeling in my wounds had been replaced with an unbearable chill. No matter how much I tried to keep it under control, my body kept violently shivering. My teeth wouldn't stop chattering. Also, I like this kind of characterization of Senna. Like, she wants to justify things, but she can't. She masks her emotions with everything's just an electrical signal. Everything can be explained with science. Everything is just chemicals going off in our brains. But the truth is, she cares about people. She cares about her dad. She cares about Takumi. And she cared about that baby she only just held in her hands. She doesn't believe anything she's saying. Well, she believes in the sound of weapons and obviously Nozomi. But the things containing emotions specifically aren't true for her. She's cold for the fact that she cares so much about people. That's her whole deal. And it's the tough girl that's under just life or death situations caves into her emotions like any other person would. You know, she is still human after all. Looking up, I saw the planetarium standing before us, but the moment I did, I realized something was off. The surrounding buildings had almost entirely collapsed, and the ones that were still standing were covered in cracks and fissures, and yet the planetarium was completely intact. Yeah. Not only that, but I thought the building was supposed to have been demolished years ago. But it still stood tall in front of me. Why? Why didn't I realize this until now? Why didn't I question it earlier? Because the power of Noah. Was this because of some Gigglomaniac's powers, or was it Noah 2's doing? Probably getting issues. At any rate, the reason I noticed must have been because of the cheat code. Now we just needed to activate it, and then we should be able to destroy the planetarium. Without me supporting her any longer, Senna fell to her knees. She was still heartbroken. Aw.
せーなチート使うんだ
Even talking was agonizing now. Senna looked back and forth between me and the baby, making her look like she was shaking her head no, but all she did besides that was tremble. Oh shit. I was running out of time. My vision's going blurry. If we didn't activate the cheat code, I was going to die.
西条しっかりしろ
Huh?
こんなのって死なないでお願いだからなあ西条世界は電気仕掛けなんかじゃないんだ私はただ思い込みたかっただけ
Yeah.
母さんと妹を見殺しにしかできなかった自分が許せなくて気持ち悪いと吐いてしまった自分が許せなくて二人が死んだのも父さんがあんなことしたのも全部信じたくなくて感情だって捨て去りだってだけどダメなんだどうやったって父さんを憎んでしまうし母さんや妹の死んだことが悲しいし自分が許せないしこの子死なせたくないんだ
Damn it. I couldn't rely on Sun anymore. I had to do it on my own, somehow. I reached out my hand to the blood-stained baby Senna was cradling.
貸してそれを
But Senna refused to let go.
ダメだ西条やめろ
もう死んでるよ
Taking charge, I wrestled Senna's hands away. She looked at me in horror and forcibly grabbed the baby. No, I just realized something. Just a second. This is also mirroring Senna's mother, isn't it? It's exactly mirroring it. Because with Senna's mother, she was so convinced that the baby she was caring for was still alive, but in reality had been dead for so long. Wait. In the end, Senna's mother ate the baby. Does the Committee of 300... I guess that cheat code is now mirroring that fact? So do we have to eat the baby? Wait, what? She broke down crying, ignoring her rails. I crushed the baby. Cheat code. Activate. 1 meteor power. Oh shit. It's right there. Suddenly I noticed it. A strange color, shrouded in faint white. Your sword. A shining sword was lying on my feet. At this sword. Forgetting all about the pain, I took hold of it. Well, shit. Despite being so long and gigantic, it was shockingly light. It was almost like I was fielding nothing but thin air. Wow. I guess technically they did cheat. They did cheat in fucking Takumi's disc sword without him talking to Shogun. So I now knew for sure this was a real disc sword. It was still fake. Hot damn, cheat code. To think I finally got my hands on a disc sword this easily after struggling to get one for so long. Summoning all my remaining energy, I stood up. My wounds hadn't healed, but I was invincible now. Wounds this bad just took a minute to heal, that's all. Said I was utterly useless now. I destroyed Noah 2 myself. I felt power overflowing from deep within, from the very core of my body. It felt like there wasn't anything I could do. I have obtained power rivaling that of God himself. I brandished my sword. My target was the planetarium, illuminated Why the fuck can I not say this word today? Ominously by the surrounding light. Whatever.
壊してやる。これで終わりに。
A gunshot echoed throughout the air. Blood spewed from my chest. Soon after, I was hit with intense pain. Oh, fuck. For a moment, I stopped breathing. My vision went black. I had an awful feeling writhing in the depths of my throat, and the taste of blood spread throughout my mouth as I coughed violently. Who the fuck shot? That guy from earlier. Had he shot me again? Had Ruby failed to hold him off? I looked around, only to be absolutely astonished by what I saw. There were tons of people, all crowded around me and Senna. Oh my god. They all had dead eyes, they were all holding guns, and they were all aimed at me. Oh my god. Every single one of them was whispering something.
信仰の救いあれ。信仰の救いあれ。
What the fuck?
信仰の救いあれ。信仰の救いあれ。信仰の救いあれ。信仰の救いあれ。
It must be Noah too.
セナ、伏せて。
Oh my god. They all fired in unison. Countless red bullets penetrated my body, sporing out my flesh, slicing through my bones. I was assaulted by impact after impact. My body danced around by an order not my own, just like a marionette. The pain stabbed at my consciousness. If all I was going to pass out.
No.
Even still, I desperately kept standing. My discord was still raised high, held aloft in one of my hands. I'll destroy it, I prayed. I'll destroy Noah too. No matter how desecrated my body is, I won't die. I can't die. Oh shit. I swung down. The discord drew a trail of red and white. A brilliant flash burst into the night sky. The blade of light tore through the endless night and descended upon the planetarium dome below. Oh shit. Only to be deflected by some unseen force.
嘘でしょ。
Fuck. It was like there had been some sort of invisible wall. The light emitted by the discord was reflected, and dispersed. I mean, yeah, that's what Noah 2 did. Silence. Senna, me, and the people who had been shooting at me, we all simply stared, dumbfounded. Even with the cheat, it didn't work. Was Noah 2 indestructible? I tried again. I couldn't let it end like this. I coughed off blood. Greasy sweat stung in my eyes. I could barely feel the pain anymore. My senses were already starting to disappear. My nerves might have been paralyzed. One more swing. I'm strong. I'm the strongest in the world. My strength stat should be so high, it should be absolutely OP. So I just need one more swing. I raised my sword overhead.
信仰の救いあれ。
Oh god. Oh. Along with a woman's scream, they fired wildly once again.
西条。
Senna covered my body with hers. I guess Senna had saved me this time. Fuck.
私も手伝うよ。
Senna tightly, ever so tightly, embraced my blood-soaked body. She grasped the hand I held my discord with. Senna's body was so warm. Hell, it was closer to hot. It had to be the heat of her blood, drawn out by the gunshot wounds she'd suffered just now. the heat of the pulse of life that ran through her body. Oh shit.
お前の覚悟ちゃんと分かったか
Come on now.
ら壊そうその子のためにも壊そう二人で力を合わせてお前だけ死なせない
Damn.
お前だけ無茶させない私とお前は運命共同体だずっと一緒だ死ぬ時も戦う時も一緒だ
Oh shit.
もうこんな悲しみの連鎖は止めよう復活とかそんなのでもいい自然の摂理に反することはするべきじゃない私はただもう憎しみも悲しみも見たくないんだ
Aw.
こんな世界を見たくないんだお前が傷つくの見たくないんだだから一緒に壊そうあの全ての元凶を
Senna's voice rang throughout my fading consciousness, so she had finally come back to her senses, huh? Completely exhausted and covered in tears, she shielded an otaku freak like me, and now she was covered in blood. We were both dyed a deep crimson. But I really did feel her passion. Her voice really did reach me. Oh shit! Together, we raised the discord high. I could still hear gunshots firing around us. But that wouldn't stop us anymore. My power was overflowing more than ever before. I felt a strong life force gushing out of Senna. With this godly power, we would destroy the machine that rivaled God on high. This time for sure, we would.
行くぞ西条
I nodded. Together with Senna. Fuck yeah. Holy shit. We swung the discord down with all of our strength. And right as we did, a flash of light burst forth. A flash of light that tore the very world asunder. A red light that ripped the night sky in two. A red blade that perhaps might even reach the moon. It blew away everything, turning it all to dust. Together with the invisible barrier surrounding Noah 2, the planetarium was reduced to ashes. A massive impact and shockwave burst through the city. It felt like my body was going to be torn apart. The people standing around us were blown away. Even so, Senna and I held each other upright. We both clutched the baby in our arms, shielding it. We'd used every last drop of power we had left. We didn't think about what came next. As long as we had the cheat code, our wounds would heal. So right now, all we needed to do was destroy Noah 2. With all of our heart and soul, we let our power erupt. Holy shit. The sounds dissipated, and the light along with it. And in the center of that ruined city of death, Senna and I stood tall. Senna clung to my body, I leaned against hers, and between us we embraced the bloody baby. I couldn't walk another step. I couldn't make the slightest movement. I didn't have an ounce of strength left.
もういいんだ。悲しいけどもういいんだ。死んだ人を生き返らせるのなんてエゴでしかないから。チートコードは返そう。
Ah, shit. I felt the same way. And because we were alive, we had to live on for the sake of those who had died.
ごめん。
Senna softly and gently embraced the bloody baby.
ごめん。死なせてしまってごめん。
Oh. Senna cried a lot today. But compared to the usual girl who glared at everyone and everything, the girl whose weakness was on display right now was far more beautiful. Aw. Senna's flowing tears were so very beautiful. As those thoughts flowed through my mind, I looked up toward the night sky. Holy shit, wait, that's it? Oh, fuck, okay. Wow. I thought there was going to be like a catch because of the last thing Hatsuno Committee of 300 said. Like, nobody escapes. Unless there is more. But, ooh, that was a great line. But the girl whose weakness was on full display was beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, the biggest... I guess the biggest... I wouldn't say sin, but, like... The thing that Senna tried to do was cut off everything. Completely shield herself from both the world itself and from her own emotions. But... in the end, she was able to finally go into it, finally able to give in to her basic human emotions with Takayumi. Then they were able to destroy Noah 2 with that power. Because you can justify the world with so many things. You can justify the world as atoms, molecules. We're just products of our brain chemistry or whatever. Yet the real thing, the real thing that holds the world together is our emotions. That's what makes reality so real. That's what makes fiction real, really. Is emotion. You know? So that was good. I like that. That was a good route. That's a pretty good route. I'm gonna say I still like Kazui's better. It fucking punched me in the fucking chest way harder, but I feel like this is pretty good. I liked Elisa's. Elisa's was good. This was also good. I like this a lot as well. It's hard to say. Is this better than Elisa's? Well, I think I like Elisa's more. I feel like this is like the third best route. That's for sure. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It gave us a lot of information, but
エラーはすべて消滅。ノア2とノロセ源一の消去も確認したわ。
here we go.
オリジナルの西条匠は確保済み。虫の息だけどね。コピーの西条匠および畑野瀬名は予定通り任務を実行後共に死んだわ。
Yep. I was afraid of that.
今後も引き続き調査は続行するけど、おそらく畑野瀬名も西条匠もエラーは生み出さなかったんでしょ。それでいいんじゃない？私の仕事も減ったことだし。
What's his voice? It sounds familiar.
そうそう。ついでに周りをうろちょろしてた天聖信仰会の信者連中も処分しといたから。
Isn't this Momose?
先畑リミンには逃げられたみたいだけど、まあ脅威にはならないでしょ。世界人間牧場計画の予定には若干の修正が必要ね。でも今回の一連のエラーは計画へと利用を還元できると判断するわ。
What?
結果的には300人委員会に何らの不利益も生じない。了解。デバッガード任務は終了します。以後監視者の役割に戻るわ。あら、この子生きてるわね。エラーになっちゃうわ。二人が命を与えたのかしら。見なかったことにしますか。私は独身だし、子供はちょっと苦手なんだけど。
Oh my god.
ミルクは手に入るかしらね、この渋谷で。
It is. Wait, what the fuck? No, that was Momose. What the fuck? What type of Metal Gear Solid fucking, like, ending was that? Like, seriously. You know how at the end of Metal Gear Solid games, there's always that post-credit scene with it's just the logo and there's two people talking to each other? Sorry. I'm just... Whoa, okay, wait, hold up. Huh? Momose works for the Committee of 300 as a surveillant? I guess. I mean, she is good at gathering information for Ban. And okay. There's a bit to unpack there. First of all, they are going through the human domestication project that's still in progress. So it seems like the world hasn't been taken over just yet. Or, well, I mean, the world could have been already taken over, but it's not like livestock style, right? That's actually happening. They're actually doing that. Interesting. So the baby was given life, possibly by Senna and Takumi, because they believed in so much. They probably just died of their wounds after. Yeah, because they returned the cheat code. They returned... Oh, wait. I think I understand the cheat code now. Okay. I think what the cheat code was is that the baby has to be killed in order to give its life force to the users, aka Takumi and Senna. And after Takumi and Senna gave it back, they died, but the baby lived. That's I guess that's how it works, right? So the baby's still alive, at least in this timeline. Momose works for the Committee of 300. So, debugging. She called it debugging, though. I guess the committee... So, are the Committee of 300, like, gods? Like, what the fuck are they? Well, I mean... Well, we know... I guess we know for a fact they actually have helpers. That could be anyone. That was Momose. 100%. I mean, husband. I don't like kids. Same voice. Same everything. That was Momose. 100%. Debugging. And it seems like they have their own wills. Like, Momose, for example, didn't kill the baby, right? She actually let the baby live. So it doesn't seem like the Committee of 300 are actual gods. Because if they were actual gods, and when they control Momose, or maybe they're so abstract that they can't directly interfere, or something to that effect. But what the fuck? What the hell? Okay, that's some new fucking information. Also, perfect route name, Deus Ex Machina. That's, I mean, for God and Machine. like, that's a perfect title for this route. But yeah, this was good. I like this. I have to say, third best one. Like, this definitely, it went into more interesting, it was less emotional for me, but it went into some very interesting details about just the general universe of, or just the general world of this, of science adventure. So yeah, I feel like this was like the third best route so far. That was pretty good. All right. Let's go ahead and 7 out of fucking 9, baby. We're almost there. Let's see. Tips. Gladius. This bifurcated blade represents Senna's own fragile spirit. Despite its intimidating, aggressive design, the sword is actually quite fragile in structure due to it being split into 2 sections. Of course, the normal laws of physics do not apply to this sword, so in reality, it is not fragile at all. That makes a lot of sense. Being split into Senna's emotions, and I guess what it would be Senna's persona of being the cold-hearted, calculated person versus her actual real emotions split into 2. Cool. I guess that's the shortest one so far. But interesting. Okay, let's get started on the final girl route, which is Remy's route, which starts all the way back in chapter 1. Oh boy. Okay. This is going to be a wrong one. Hey, look at all of these. That's cool. Which actually shows us different things. Also, oh, that's right. Quiet Sky and Silent Sky. I'm like, what? Why is there 2 chapter 10s? No, that makes sense. Alright, let's start at the beginning, shall we, gentlemen? Good old-fashioned cry. Come on now. Okay. So, this is probably going to be the longest one since we're starting all the way back in chapter 1. So, okay. Let's see, is it here? No. Okay. No. Fuck you, Grim. Yeah, sure. And, no. Yes. Type. Keep on fucking typing. So I'm curious about this, Rumi route. I'm surprised this isn't, like, the true, like, ending, because there's, like, another route that is, like, the true ending. So I'm curious as to, what that would be. Because I feel like it's obvious, like, the main girl is Remy, right? I feel like that's been... Okay, here we go. I felt bad. Here it is. Actually, I guess this is the first ever delusion. Hell, I mean, the tutorial is still here. I felt bad. Positive. I feel like it should have been obvious to him how much I didn't want to go and see a puddle of blood and gore. It would have been way too much for me. It wouldn't be like a haunted house or a horror movie or something. People had actually died IRL, and the killer was still on the loose. So whenever the murderer was likely to be, I'd have liked to be anywhere but there. Still, I was curious. What could have possibly been the killer's motive? Were they just a psychopath that committed crimes for the hell of it? That was probably the most reasonable explanation. Well, whatever. It didn't really matter to me. I mean, that was a serial killer too, and even though I killed hundreds, people still treated me like a hero. That was in the ESO though. Just got to show how much better the 2D world is. Anyway, as I tried my hardest to turn down Misumi-kun's proposal, I imagined myself like a blower straight out of some fighting game. A psycho killer? If I ran into a guy like that, I'd turn him into mincemeat. In my delusions, I could kill or spare anyone I wanted. But the people who would actually try to live out those sorts of delusions were idiots. Didn't they know that real-life actions had real-life consequences? Even the new-gen killer would be caught eventually, and then they'd rot in prison for years, decades even, just waiting to be sent to the gallows. If I could say one thing to them, it'd be... What a pity. You really should have just kept your delusions to yourself. Oh. Oh. What the fuck? I went out to buy myself some dinner. I took the road I always used to get to my local convenience store. It was only a 3-minute walk from my base. I'd walked down this dirty alley more times than I could count. But for some reason, walking through it today, I couldn't help but feel as if I'd stepped into another world. The alley was the same as ever, but it felt like it was the first time I'd ever set foot in it. Familiar yet new. Like the opposite of deja vu, I researched the phenomenon online before. The name for it was apparently Jemias vu. What's more, the stench of rotting garbage was mingling in the air. Isn't this the same dialogue before we found the crucifixion? The moisture in the atmosphere was so thick that if I hadn't known any better, I'd have assumed that it had just been raining. The air was like syrup on my skin. I heard a sound, the faint sound of something dragging across the ground. I stopped my tracks and listened closely. The fuck? It sounded like it was coming from up ahead, from somewhere down the alley and around the corner. Without any street lights or lit up windows, it was pitch black down there. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see a thing. It was strange. This was modern-day Shibuya, a place that, along with Shinjuku, was known as the city that never sleeps, so how could there still be places that were this dark? It almost felt like the entrance to a haunted house. Actually, there was one very large distinction. This darkness wasn't man-made, it was real. I didn't want to go any farther. Nothing good would come from it. My brain set off every alarm bell it could, trying to prevent my body from taking another step. But for some inexplicable reason, my body stepped forward anyway, as if drawn to that repeating sound. My fear urged me to stop, that something horrible would happen if I kept going. My heart started racing, my forehead was slick with sweat.
その先に
What? Suddenly, a noise that was beautiful yet somehow discordant at the same time reached my ears, a voice garbled by static. Before I know it, someone had grabbed my forearm. It was all too sudden. I panicked and tried to scream for help, but all that came out was a puff of air. Terrified, I tried to force my body to run away, but it wouldn't listen. I couldn't move an inch. I looked toward my arm, and the hand of the thing that had grabbed me came into view. What the fuck? It was dark green, with skin taut like a mummy's. Countless veins protruded from the surface. It didn't look alive.
行くのは
To be honest, it made sense that I couldn't move. Going all deer in the headlights was a natural reaction to what was happening. What was surprising to me, though, was that the voice in my ear was so soothing. The fear swirling inside me was starting to vanish.
危険
Oh. A serious yet gentle voice. I slowly looked over my shoulder. The first thing I noticed was the Sumire Academy emblem, the same emblem you could find sewn into the chest of each and every Sumire uniform. Then I noticed that the person was wearing a skirt, which meant she was a girl. But I didn't have the courage to look at the most important part, her face. She was staying way closer than I was expecting, so I couldn't bring myself to face her. I couldn't put my finger on why, but for some reason something seemed off, so I turned my attention back toward her hand. The hand grabbing my arm was delicate and feminine, even though just a moment ago I had seen it as green and grotesque. Oh. This girl, who was she? What kind of expression was on her face? What kind of expression was she making at me? What was she doing here? I had no idea why, but for some reason I felt like I knew her. Yeah, you do. While staring at the pale hand wrapped around my arm, I tried to envision what she looked like. In my delusion, she... Oh shit. Has a ribbon in her hair. Here we go. Here we fucking go. She has a ribbon in her hair. Yes. Okay. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay. Is wearing glasses? Nope. God damn it. I figure I can just answer these, but I'm just gonna make sure. Is wearing over the knee socks? Yes. Is wearing a long skirt? No. Is making some sort of salute at me? Yes. Snap, Discovery Rumi story. In spite of all my questions, I couldn't manage to get a single word out. I simply hung my head in silence. At some point, the dragging sound had stopped.
もう帰って。
And in its place, there was a smell coming from her body.
たくみくん。
Oh, the stench of blood. What the fuck?
これはいい。
What the fuck? I was sitting behind a computer monitor. I chugged down a cola to contain my excitement, then leaned back in my chair. That'd been one hell of a delusion. I especially liked that mystery girl. Might give her a name and flesh out her personality in future delusions. What? No. Remy's real. No, Remy is real. We know this. Because the other Takumi saw her. And why my imagination run wild like this all the time? Usually I go on to cast an existing character as the girl, such as Sarah Town, so I might as well do that here too. Actually, Sarah didn't quite fit the vibe of that mystery girl. Well, at any rate, it was a lot of fun mixing together 2D and 3D in my delusions. I was the god of the world inside my head, and there everything bent to my will.
次はちょっとエロ要素も。
Yeah. I said that to myself as if I were at my base, but when I remembered I was in the internet cafe, I quickly covered my mouth. I quietly peeked outside. Didn't seem like anyone had heard me just now, so, yeah. Wow. Well, so... Oh! 2 hours prior. Oh, we're going to get all the fucking details, aren't we? Oh, yeah, we are. The white of the sunset bathed a hospital room in a vibrant orange. All was silent, as if time itself had stopped. Only a single person was present, completely still, as if asleep sat a boy in a wheelchair. It was around the time of day when one would find nurses washing around the hospital, serving patients their dinners, and yet no such signs of activity made their way to the room. A moment later, the silence was broken by the sound of a door opening. Aw, it's a cute outfit. A lone girl entered the room. The boy in the wheelchair lifted his head to acknowledge her, but did not speak. For a moment, the girl hesitated at the entrance. Looking around the room, she could sense a faint aura of loneliness emanating from it. The drab-looking room was minimal in size and reeked of disinfectant. This was where the two of them spent their days. An isolated location, eternally unknown to the rest of humanity. Not a single soul, be they a doctor, nurse, friend, or relative, ever came to visit. The boy and girl rarely exchanged words with one another. The boy had been hospitalized, and for a whole year had been comatose. Only just a month ago had he awoken. Really interesting. The girl had been essentially using his room as a place to stay. However, as much as she did trust him, their relationship had nothing to do with any sort of romantic or sexual attraction. Really. Her only goal was to repay her debt to the boy. Nothing more, nothing less. That's right. From what we've heard, Takumi helped Rumi rebuild herself. The boy was intentionally cold and distant, having even told her not to return once before, yet all the same she remained. This was, in part, because she had nowhere else to go. During his coma, she had been his lone caretaker. The couch in the room had become her bed, and even now, after he had woken, she still used it as such.
ご飯買ってきたよ。
She spoke with warmth and sincerity as she held out a bag of food she had bought from the convenience store. Her words scared away the static atmosphere and breathed a new life into the dead world that surrounded them. The girl surrendered herself to such an illusion, but did not mention this to the boy as she laid several kinds of bread atop the empty bed.
いつも思うんだけどさ、こんな食事で体は大丈夫？
もともと先は長くないから買ってこさせてごめん。
いいの私の分のついでだから気にしないで。
She forced herself to smile at the boy. Then, taking the egg sandwich for herself, she moved toward the window. Upon opening the window, the crisp autumn breeze permeated the quiet hospital room. Comfortably greeted by the wind, the girl narrowed her eyes and perched nimbly on the windowsill. The room was located considerably high up. Imaginably, falling would mean certain death. This, however, hardly mattered to the girl, who simply took a hearty bite out of her sandwich. The boy in the wheelchair paid her no heed. He did not even attempt to reach for the bread right out on the bed.
ねえ、もう一度聞くけど、本当に彼を覚醒させるつもり？
Wow.
昨日チャットをしてみてはっきりした。のぞみはすでに彼に目をつけている。ノア2も完成間近だし、急がないと。
どうしてもやるの？
そうだよ。
でもそれじゃのぞみと変わらない。彼に恐怖を与えて追い詰めて。
Hey, at least Rumi has, like, self-awareness of, like, that is the thing, isn't it? It's essentially two kind of factions trying to scare Takumi so much to make him awaken, therefore use him for their individual weapons. One, for Nozomi to get his cold sample to give it to Noah 2, and for Shogun to get him to activate his Discord in order to destroy Noah 2. Either way, Takumi, this is why I find Takeumi's situation so sad. He is being used as a weapon by two different factions, when in reality, he wants to be a normal guy. He wants to be a peaceful existence, yet he can't because of what he is, which is a delusion. A delusion so powerful that it could change the fate of the world. So it seems so... He is put into such an unfair situation, not by his own will at all. He was created to be a weapon, which makes him so fucking tragic, which makes him kind of, like myself, a bit lenient on, like, he does think some fucked up shit. There is that side to him. But I feel like that's a case of, because he's a delusion. He's a delusion, like, Shogun made this second body, kind of himself, as, I guess, as a normal teenage high school boy, which I guess in his mind would be an otaku neat that would think all these kind of fucked up things, or kind of like, yeah, fucked up things like a normal teenager would, right? And it's such a sad situation, because, like, I can't, like, at the beginning of the game, I'm like, okay, Takumi, dude, come on now, you gotta go outside and, like, touch glass here. But maybe the reason why he has that instinct to lock himself away was put in place by Shogun. Because Nozomi would obviously be looking into this kid that mysteriously appeared one day that has the name Nishijou Takumi, right? Maybe the instinct of hiding himself away from the world was put in there to, like, on purpose by Shogun. That's why he's like that. it's a fucked up situation. I feel so bad for him because he didn't put himself in this situation. He was created as a 16-year-old kid. He was created. He was never 1. He was never 2. He has always been 16 years old. He's always gone to Samurai Academy. He has always been locked up because that's his backstory. That's what he was created to be. A teenager that is designed to be the ultimate weapon. So I find it so sad for him. And I want him to live so fucking badly. I want him to have a happy ending because I want him to be more than just a weapon. You know, it really it's tragic. It's so fucking tragic, you know. Of like, and the thing is, what's very interesting with all these girls' routes, this delusion of an otaku freak, of a high school teenage boy, is able to help these other girls through their own problems, their actual problems, you know, be it Nanami's kind of, well, Nanami's route really focused more on Takayumi than Nanami herself, but like, I get no. I feel like what that would be was mending the relationship between the two, of being brother and sister. With Yua, it was confronting her death about her sister. With what was the next one? Not Kazupi. Awis. With Awis, it was changing her viewpoint, changing her view of the world into something better. With Kazupi, it was understanding her. It was more like being okay with who she was, able to go past or for Kazupi, it was kind of confronting herself. With Senna, it was, confronting herself as well, but in all different ways. It's like all these routes have always been the girls confronting themselves via the passage of Takayumi, right? This delusional existence is able to help these girls, right? And I guess that could be like a commentary on like how stories affect us, even though it's not really real. The way it affects us could be are able to make us face the most kind of, I guess, our own problems in our lives, right? That's what stories do. I'm looking at that in a meta sense. Don't fucking mind me, but it's just I want Takayumi to have a happy ending. That's what I want. That's all I fucking want. I want a fucking happy ending for all these characters.
彼しかいないんだ。
彼が覚醒すればあなたは死ぬのに。
That too.
最初から覚悟の上だよ。彼に全ての責任を押し付けようとしている僕には相応の罰だと思う。
The girl kept her gaze focused on the setting sun, not daring to look over her shoulder at the boy. Her countenance had laid her emotions bare. She looked as if she might burst into tears at any moment.
彼を消すっていう選択肢はないかな。
そうなったら僕はまた1年以上昏睡する覚悟で新しい僕を生み出さないとね。その頃にはノア2は完成して世界には絶望が溢れているだろうけど。
Yep, okay. Yeah, he went into a coma to create Takumi. That makes sense. Despite his gentle tone, his words were laced with a touch of cynicism. Upon hearing them, the girl couldn't help but let out a sigh.
私はあなたのやり方には反対だな。
ノア2を完成させるわけにはいかない。
そうだけど彼の立場を考えたら悲しすぎるよ。
Oh,
れにあなたが自殺しようとしているのをむざむざ指をくわえて見ているわけにもいかないし。
I mean, yeah.
自殺じゃないよ。
私が何とかする。
The boy finally moved a little, taken aback by the girl's abrupt yet resolved words.
なんとか
Was what? Finishing off the last of her sandwich, she stepped down from the windowsill, then turned to face him. Then, for some inexplicable reason, she snapped into a pose resembling that of a salute.
私が望みから彼を守る。
Oh.
そうすればあなたは死なないから。
それじゃあ彼が生まれた意味がなくなるし、何の解決にもならない。ノア2が。
ノア2も私が何とかするって。
君には無理だよ。
もう決めたの。私はあなたを守るためにあなたと対立します。
She gave him a frail yet tender smile. At the sight of this, the boy lost any and all words he had.
あなたの予言によると今日新しい事件が起きるんだよね。
予言じゃない。事実だよ。彼らの妄想を見たからね。
だったら彼をその事件に近づけさせないようにしなくちゃ。私ちょっと行ってくるね。
She approached the door.
君が邪魔をしても僕は予定通り彼を目覚めさせるよ。
Yeah. As she opened the door, hearing the boy's words directed at her back, she paused for one final time. No signs of life came from the hallway. Not a single human being was in sight until a sound reached the room.
ねえ、私たちって何なんだろう。誰にも存在を知られずにここにもう1年以上いる。ここにいると自分っていう存在は幻なんじゃないかって思えてきちゃうの。ジメジメ気分になるのはやっぱり病院だからかな。
リミ、君は関わるべきじゃない。
Despite the boy's pleading, the girl did not look back.
パンちゃんと食べるんだよ。
After murmuring those last few words, the girl left the hospital room. Ooh. Ooh, this is, I think this route's gonna hit hard. I think this route is actually gonna hit hard. That's the interesting thing about Rumi. She has good intentions. She really does. It's a fucked up situation. Because we do have to keep in mind, Shogun is killing himself, pretty much, essentially. By putting all of his, you could say, hopes and dreams into Takayumi. He created, essentially, a second version of himself. And Remy, being the girl she is, wants to protect that because of how Shogun helped her by overcoming her weakness, overcoming her problem. Which, yeah, in the rest of these routes we have been doing for the other girls, haven't we? I guess that's just who Takayumi is. He is a broken person that is able to help other broken people be able to confront their problems and able to comfort them, really, is the best word. But who protects the protector, you know, who watches the watchman. And I guess that would be Remy. It's a hard situation. I like it though. It is not black and white. It isn't black and white at all. This is all gray. Like I'm saying that in a story where there's a big evil fucking organization constructing a machine that brainwashes people or fucks with people's perceptions of reality by fucking same thing, right? Even though we have that, there's still grayness here. There's grayness with specifically our heroes, really, especially with Shogun. Of like, is this really the right thing to do? Create this entity that is only useful as a weapon, you know, and an entity that gains self-awareness, consciousness, life, you could say. It's an interesting discussion to be had. I think this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a real good one. Hopefully there's more intermissions like that. I mean, I wish there were more intermissions for the other couple of routes as well, because it's just a nice thing. It's a nice pace breaker, really, from just me holding down, like, pressing E and just being like, oh, let me go through all this dialogue again. Like, those intermissions really do help a lot. It adds more characterization, obviously, to these girls I want to know more about. But either way, I feel like this is going to be a good one. But yeah, I feel like this is a perfect stopping point here, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. Or tell me something, put it down in the comments below. Check out Discord server hanging out in on my Twitter. Check description below. And yeah, this has been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!